Hi guys, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my cooking channel. Today, I have a whole bunch of leftovers. I don't know what to do with them, so I'm gonna make a fried rice. I love Chinese food, and I love making my own fried rice. I have rotisserie chicken. Typically, I don't use rotisserie chicken, but that's what I have today. So instead of defrosting some chicken thighs and starting from scratch, today's gonna be leftover day, so come join me in my kitchen as I cook. For today's video, we're gonna use 4 cups of cooked white rice. I shredded up some rotisserie chicken. I'm gonna cut it up a little bit more. I have 3/4 of a cup of frozen green peas. I also have fresh snow peas that I've washed. I'm gonna use my chunky garlic and ginger. I have soy sauce. I have sesame oil, green onions, carrots, a regular onion I might use, and some eggs. All right, so I'm preheating my pan. I'm gonna get a pinch of salt for my 3 eggs, and I'm going to beat the eggs. I'm gonna whip them up just using a fork because we are going to scramble them and get them cooked. So you want your wok to be hot. You want to spread your oil, and while that wok is hot, you pour your eggs that you're scrambling, and then you make sure they cook. I don't want them brown, but the wok was hot, so I have to move them around a lot. And once they're almost cooked, you don't want them runny. I don't like runny eggs, but there's people that like runny eggs. But when they're almost done, you're gonna separate. Oh, that's still a little too wet. And you won't separate, you just take them off the heat. And there they go. Like for me, that's still too under. I know people that love eggs like that, but we're gonna cook it again because I'm gonna stick it back in the wok once I assemble everything. So now that that part is done, I'm gonna put a little bit more oil back in the wok, and I'm gonna get my onions. Onions and carrots. So I'm gonna move that around a little. Some of the green onions I chopped are in here as well because I chopped the green onions first. Put that in there and start cooking this down. I have a feeling my wok is not big enough, but we'll be fine. I'm gonna start cooking this down until they are a little bit translucent. Once they're translucent, that means that they're cooked down. Oh, that went back into the bowl. And then I can add my ginger and my garlic. I don't want to add the ginger and garlic now because I don't want it to burn. So I will give this a couple minutes, maybe 2 or 3, and we'll be back. And now that the onions have become a little translucent. Oops, I'm getting stuff everywhere today. The onions are translucent and the carrots are getting soft. We're gonna put our garlic and our ginger. Now, it's supposed to be like 3 cloves of garlic. I really like garlic, so I'm gonna put garlic to taste. And I'll put almost an equal amount of ginger. Let's move that to the side. I want to get these all over. I'm going to put our chicken. This definitely is too small for all this stuff. So I'm going to start heating the chicken that I should have cut up. But what I'm going to do is as the chicken gets warmed back up, I am going to start breaking it apart, and And I'm gonna have to do this in batches. If you guys have a bigger wok or just a bigger pan, I can probably do this in my saute pan. I think I'm gonna do that. Once the chicken is nice and warm, I'm gonna switch pans because as much as I like my wok, I don't wanna make a mess. So, let me go ahead and do that. I'm gonna let this warm up and break it apart a little bit and then switch pans, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and now I'm using my larger saute pan, and I've broken up my chicken a little bit. Now, if you don't like big chunks of chicken like this, then you can cut it up smaller. You can use more chicken, you can use less chicken, you can use ground chicken, you can use whatever you want. Typically, I don't make this with rotisserie, but this is what I had, and I'm trying to use what I have in my kitchen. This is like a leftovers meal. And what better way to do leftovers than in a fried rice? So now I'm adding my frozen peas. And once we start adding things, guys, you want to salt because you want to season your food. I know we're going to put soy sauce, and I know the chicken is already seasoned, but you want to season everything. And now we're going to add the snow peas. If you don't like snow peas, if you don't like regular peas, don't add them. I would have also, I'm not going to add all of it, just going to add quite a bit. And if you don't like snow peas, I was saying don't add. What I did, I missed one. I like snipping this end. So I usually do it with a knife because, okay, if it's that hard to cut, then you're not going to be able to eat. So if I would have had bean sprouts, I would have put bean sprouts, but I'm trying to make this with what I have currently in my kitchen. So this is what I had. I could have always defrosted some chicken thighs, cut them up, and, you know, done that, but I decided to do with leftovers. Also, I'm going to add some of the green onions. You want to reserve some of this for garnish. I mean, you don't have to, but I like doing that because I like it looking pretty. So I'm going to reserve this. I'm going to get this moving around. I can smell the ginger, the garlic. I smell now the green onions. They're so fragrant. And I'm just going to stir this. You want to cook your onions down. So I just added the green onions. I want them to cook down. I don't want these vegetables to be raw. As much as I love the snap in the snow peas, you do want to cook your food. So I'm going to let this just cook down. And then once that cooks for a couple minutes, I'm going to add my rice. All right, now that this has cooked down for a couple of minutes, everything's getting nice and soft. I still like a snap to it. I still like some, you know, well, I like it cooked. I like it to have a bite. But if you like it cooked more, go for it. And I'm going to use my day-old, this might actually be 2 days old, rice. You don't want to use fresh rice because you want your rice to get nice and crispy. You want, and crispy, not like a fried type thing, but you want the rice to be able to dry out a little bit so it can absorb the flavors of the soy sauce and of everything else that you're putting in here. And you want it to get like almost like a crispy, crunchy texture. This pan, I could have used my cast iron, but this is bigger. If you use a cast iron, you get a nicer crisp to it. So I'm going to cook this down for a couple minutes and we'll be back. All right, and do you hear the rice? How it's crackling and popping? That's what you want to hear, because that means you're actually making fried rice, guys. All right, so I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. Remember, I use kosher salt, so it might look maybe bigger, or like I'm using a lot more salt, but I'm not. So if you use regular table salt, Please just taste and be careful with how much you put. I am also going to add a little bit of pepper, freshly ground black pepper, and I'm going to stir this up some more. Okay, and I'm going to add our soy sauce. Once we add our soy sauce, we're going to stir it up. This is what's going to give it that nice fried rice color. And I'm just going to keep stirring. Now, if I wanted to make this just veggies, because I love vegetable fried rice, I would have just put broccoli florets and just, you know, mushrooms. And that sounds good, actually. Let me finish putting this. But, you know, I had my chicken, so I used the rotisserie chicken. And we are actually almost there, so I'm going to taste this. You guys want to taste your food as you cook. Let's see, I'll grab the spoon, so that's what I'm going to use. It's actually perfect. You can always adjust your seasonings, adjust the salt, the pepper. You can put more garlic if you want, more ginger. I almost want to add more ginger to this, but you can taste that it's very pronounced. And now I'm going to add our eggs. Our eggs are almost completely cooked. So I'm just going to break it apart. And as they reheat in this saute pan and you mix them up, they're gonna completely cook. So it's not gonna be runny or anything. You don't want them to really be super dry unless you like that, and that's fine. I don't personally like them runny, but since I'm mixing them up, they weren't gonna be runny anyway. So, okay, that's done. And now our sesame oil. We're putting this, I don't want to cook with it because it doesn't really do high heat very well. So I just want to add it to the end just to give it this really nice flavor. And oh man, you guys, I wish you could smell this because it smells so delicious. You can smell the nuttiness of the sesame oil. Oh, so good. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off and get it plated. All right, guys, I'm gonna taste my food. Look how pretty this looks. So cute. I love Chinese food. I love fried rice. And let's see. The rice isn't mushy because it was day-old rice or 2-day-old rice, so make sure you use leftovers, otherwise that rice is just gonna congeal and get all mushy. But I can taste so many things right now. I taste the garlic, I taste the sesame oil, I taste ginger. It's delicious. I feel like I'm eating at a Chinese restaurant. And I used rotisserie chicken, guys. If you want to make it a veggie fried rice instead, go ahead and just add veggies, add baby corn, add, I don't know, shiitake mushrooms, regular mushrooms if you have them, add broccoli florets, whatever it is that you like to eat. If you go out and you go to a Chinese restaurant and you want fried rice without vegetables, don't add any vegetables. I would suggest still adding the garlic, the onion, the ginger definitely. Just, you know, to give it some really good flavor, but stop there and then just add meat if you want. Add pork. I don't eat pork, but you can, if you eat pork, cook with pork. You can make chicken, you can make beef fried rice, that's pretty good too, or that special fried rice that everybody loves. You can make that as well at home without having to go out and spend money at a restaurant. Now, I love food. Don't tell anyone. Guys, I would definitely go out to eat every single day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if I could afford it. But I'm not rich. I can't afford that. And even if I was, it's probably not the best thing. This way you're making, you know, fresh food at home, even from leftovers. You know exactly what you put into it, and you don't add things that you don't want to eat. So this way I think it's a little better and it's a little more fun. So let me know what you think. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit like down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more recipes. Bon appetit!